Um, I want to do this little video or presentation on breaking into technology. This is for mainly so people out there who are wondering their next steps in terms of career. Actually, thought about doing it because I talked to a couple of friends who are interested in tech and they are not sure where or how to go. So I'm going to start with this. My name is Lloyd Thomas. I'm a tech professional. I've been in the game for over 15 years. So I just want to share my little knowledge. I'm not a guru. I just know a little bit about one or two things. And so if you feel like commenting and giving your ideas, or if I get some stuff wrong, uh, please feel free to comment and I'll be willing to make adjustments. Also contact me if you feel like you know following up or anything. I'll be willing to respond. So let's get into it. Well, I'll touch on three things in this presentation, which is foundation, pathways, and specialization. So, if you want to start into tech, those are three things you should look into. The first thing will be the foundation. Well, everything has to start with a foundation. Even the Bible said it. It said, without a strong foundation, what can the righteous do? So, within the foundation, I'll be talking about the computer as a whole, which is the central nervous system of technology. Look at hardware, software, OS, and interacting with the computer. Well, let's get into it. So, as you can see, I have the computer foundation in the first layer, and this is because that's the bare minimum. That's the foundation you need to have if you want to start into tech. You have to know a little bit about computer, especially three things. Um, I would say IOPS. Some people call it different ways in different circles. So, but IOPS model meaning input, output, processing, and storage. If you are to go into technology and learning about the computer, that's the main thing you have to know. The computer is nothing but input, output, processing, and storage. The rest, they are just added innovations. So, what do we mean by input, output, processing, and storage? Well, if you have to interact with a computer, or every computer consists of those four components. You have an input system, you have an output system, processing and storage. Input system, if you have to type something into the computer, if you have to make a video, like if you have to make a presentation I'm doing right now, that's input. Output, printing the document, viewing information on the computer screen, that's output. Processing, if you input information in the computer, well, it has to be processed to get it out of the way you want it. If it's not processed, there's going to be raw data within the computer that only the computer can understand. For humans to understand it, you have to process it. Storage, well, everything needs to be stored, right, for future access and retrieval. So that's what storage is for. So the computer is all about the IOS model. And then let me touch on the BIOS. BIOS means basic input output system. Again, we come to input and output. A computer, before it comes on, they have something in the computer called a BIOS chip that's responsible for testing all your components in the computer to make sure they are working properly. So the BIOS is responsible for that. Is a programmable chip, and then the computer is made up of programs. Without the programs, you cannot do anything on the computer. The computer will be useless. So those are the major components that you need, or that the computer is made up of. So that's the foundation. If you want to get into tech, have a little basic understanding of these things. And there are a lot of things out there you can learn. The internet is there to make you to learn about these things. So this is just an introduction. I'm not going to go in detail, but I'm just going to tell you the major foundation you can do further research. So Again, talking about components, a computer is made up of both hardware and software. Well, software is the programs, but the hardware are the components, which is the input, output, processing, and storage. But a computer is a physical device, which is called a hardware. It's computer made up of physical components and non-physical or intangible components, software. A computer, again, like I said, the hardware component are IOPS, input, output, processing, storage. And then peripherals, those are just addition, like decoration. For example, USB drive is our external storage, and there are a lot of peripherals out there. So that's what make up our hardware components of the computer. So you need to know a little basic about these things when you enter into tech. And then software, like I said, they are intangible components. We have two major categories of software: system software and application software. If system software is anything that makes the computer to come on, without a system software, almost like what would I say, maybe the brain or the heart, like the central nerve of the computer. Without a system software, if you press the power button, you're just gonna boot to the BIOS and nothing else. But when you see your screen come on, boot all the way to whatever operating system you're using, and you are able to access files, you are able to create new files, browse the internet, you're operating on a system software. Well, application software then it runs on top of system software, which are the programs, the different programs, different applications, be it browsing the internet, going on social media, typing a document, watching videos. Those are all applications. There are a lot of applications out there, billions of applications out there. So that's what software is. So software and hardware make up a computer system. And you have to know the basic of these things if you are getting into technology. So the next step, operating system. Like I said, the computer foundation is the foundation, and on top of that, you have the operating system. So everything made up of computer, the components, the hardware components, that's the foundation, and then for the computer to come on, you need an operating system. So what is an operating system? Like I said, the operating system is the operational mechanism, so to speak. Sorry for using big words, but anyways, the operating system helps the computer to come on and enable end users to get things done. There are two types of operating system: server OS and client OS. Server, what does a server mean? Like, well, if you go to a restaurant, you give an example, common example. If you have your server, they come and ask you a lot of things. What do you want to order or the stuff? That's your server. Well, you are the client because why? You are requesting services. So there are different types of operating systems within the operating system environment. There are many server and client. For the server side of things, you have Unix, Linux, Windows, Mac OS. I'm not going to go detail into each of these, but Unix was the first major operating system, and followed by Linux. And Windows and Mac came into the game and changed things, especially when it comes to thinking about the end users instead of the professional users. Unix and Linux were geared mainly towards professional developers and administrators, and then Windows, Mac OS, they came into the scene and brought about a graphical user interface, which we're going to touch on later. So several operating systems, they are there to work on several computers. We have computers that are several computers, and then client operating system, they are mainly your personal computers, your laptops, your phones. They are client operating systems that make your phones to come on, your computers to come on to access services. So if you go on the internet, you are browsing stuff on your computer or your phone, you are using the client OS and you are interacting with the server OS or the server on the internet or in your company. So You have the computer foundation, you have the operating system. That's how it goes up. So the next thing will be interacting or interfacing with the computer. How do you interact with a computer? If you have a foundation already, you have the foundation, you have the operating system. Well, the operating system enables you to interact with the computer in two ways. One through, basically through the user interface. But the user interface, there are two user interfaces. You get graphical, you get command line. Graphical user interface because you need to use the computer without any having problem, without you googling how to use things. Graphical user interface enables you to do that with the mouse and pictures and everything you see on the screen. You are able to click around. That's graphical user interface. Command line, it was made for professional users. You don't have to. Let's say you want to do 50 things. You don't want to do it one at a time. So you use the command line, you issue few lines of command, boom. There you have it. Your your work is done in less than an hour. Instead of you creating 5, 20 users, 100 users, one at a time by clicking using the GUIs, graphical user interface, you can just issue few commands. So that's how you interact with a computer. If you don't know this, you have been interacting with a computer through these means, and majority of the interaction with a computer is through the GUI, graphical user interface, because it's easier, it's convenient. That's what made computer popular because people were able to use them easily. So if you get into tech, you should know these things, and there are a lot of research you can do to research these things. But yeah, that's the basic. So for review, a computer, if you want to break into technology, you got to know a little bit about the computer. You don't have to know a lot. You have to know how to use the computer, what is happening, behind the scenes. You can give a little bit of abstracted explanation. You have to know about the operating system and the human-computer interaction, or how you interact with the computer, the user interface. So one thing I want to let you know, if you're just starting out, typing is very important. How to type, how to type fast. You don't have to learn how to type fast, but know the placement of the keys and be able to get things done using the keyboard. There are a lot of resources on the internet. You just go Google typing, learning, or typing for beginners. You want to learn how to type, and you can test your typing speed as well. So they're out there. Just Google them. You're going to see them. So let's go to the next section, which has to do with pathways. Well, if you want to go into technology, you don't have to have a bachelor's degree, master's degree. You don't have to, you can learn anything literally through the internet. So at this time of modern technology, of the modern world, we have more advantage than the previous world because we can learn anything without going to the classroom. So there are three major pathways when you want to break into technology: computer science, computer engineering, and IT, information technology. Well, let's get into it. Computer science, basically, there is the theoretical underpinning of technology that has a deep rooted mathematical foundations. Computer programs as a whole, they are based on mathematics. If you know mathematics, even a lot of computer science people have mathematics background. So it's very important. We have programming languages within computer science. We got Python, Java, JavaScript, a lot of programs out there. So you want to break into technology, you can learn one programming language, be good at it, and you can land a job virtually anywhere. And computer science involves software engineering and software development. Software are the programs that run on your computer and enable you to do a lot of things. The next section is computer engineering. It's mainly hardware based. So all the computers you see today, Mac, Apple, Windows, Dell computers, you know, several computers, they are all based on a hardware architecture. And if you go into computer engineering, that's bulk of what you're going to be doing. And the computer architecture is based on the machine language. Every computer has language that's operating on. So if you are building programs to work on those computers, that's what the programs are for, to interpret your instruction to the machine language and then get it back to you as a human language. So that's all you do in computer engineering. Information technology, again, that to make things clear, information technology as a whole is a broad term that even covers the field of computer science and computer engineering. The industry as a whole is called IT industry, information technology industry. In other areas, you hear information technology and services. In other regions, you hear information communications technology, ICT. They are all synonymous terms. But when I'm saying information technology here, I'm talking about the operational aspects of tech. Because if you build a computer, which is computer engineering, and you build programs to use with a computer, which is computer science, you need to maintain those computers, you need to maintain those programs, and information technology is responsible for that. So that's why I mean by information technology. So when people say, "Oh, I want to get into tech," you can go into tech in three different ways. But IT deals with the operational aspects, which we'll get into later. But that's the basic aspect what I mean by IT, information technology. So to review, if you want to break it to tech, there are three areas: computer science, which deals with the programs; software development; computer engineering deals with the devices, the computers themselves, the machine learning. I mean, the machine language. And then IT, information technology, deals with the operational aspect, maintaining the system, administering them. That's where that's what our IT is for. So on the assignment note, if you are getting into tech, you have to be interested in this in one area, based on my explanation or based on your research. And one important thing, you need to have passion with this field because you cannot go into it just for the money. It has high paying, but sometimes you have to be driven, you have to be hungry for what you want. You can just go into it because of what you can get. You're gonna get burned down if you get challenges, obstacles along the way, and you're gonna quit. So that's why you have to have an area of interest to make it easier for you because the field is broad, a lot of things you can do. So with that being said, let's touch on specialization. I just listed a few here, but mind you, there are a lot. I could say thousands of specialization within the field of technology. Even computer engineering alone, you have broad areas where you can deal with the processor manufacturing. For example, companies like Intel and AMD. For software engineering, you have different areas of software engineering. Like, for example, you are you are developing software for data centers, for servers. You are developing software for different applications. So there are broad fields, broad areas. There are specialization within specialization. Like, for example, artificial intelligence. You can be doing the machine learning. You can be doing deep learning. You can be doing neural language, natural language processing. So those are different fields. Data science. You could be doing data analytics. You could be doing data, just data. You can be doing databases. So there are broad specializations. You got to do your research and get to know where you fit or what do you like, or even go think about what's going on within the world. What is the latest trend and what specialization is leading, and how best you can gain knowledge and expertise in that particular area. Right now, we have data science, artificial intelligence is leading the space. Um, Cloud computing, cybersecurity, those are big areas. DevOps. So you gotta make your research and find out which area you like. But I just want you to know, you with any area, regardless of the specialization, you need to have the basic understanding that I lay out in my previous slides. So that's how you do it. So to review, we talked about the foundation, which has to do with the different areas of technology, and we talked about which areas you can pursue, which pathways you can pursue, and then we talk about specializations within those pathways. As you can see, these are listed on your screen. You have to have the computer foundation if you want to get into tech. You got to know about the different operating systems. You got to know how to interact with the computer, the user interface, and then you can select which specialization you want to go into: computer science, computer engineering, or technology, IT. So, with that being said, what is your area of specialization? Are you passionate about? For me, for example, I'm very passionate about cloud computing, which is the new advanced way of offering technology services through the internet as a utility, as a subscription model. With that technology, you don't have to buy huge computers or huge servers for your company. You just go sign up with one of the vendors, and boom, you have computers ready for your business operations. So choose wisely. Like I said from the beginning of the slide, I said choose your battle, because you are definitely going to battle, and to become the best, you have to be the best in that area of specialization. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and keep your comment coming in. Subscribe to my channel, and let's learn together and be the best we can be. Thank you.